DICE is a developer that, at least as of late, has been very hit or miss with their single player offerings. The last single player campaign from a Battlefield game that really stood out to me personally was Bad Company 2. However, it seems that DICE may indeed be onto something great with Battlefield 1's single player. Let's take the first level of Battlefield 1 and break it down and show us how DICE offers perhaps the best portrayal of true war we've seen in recent memory. Battlefield 1 opens slowly. Calming music, visuals of a sleeping man, something quite serene. That serenity is broken quickly by the thrust into reality. We are not at home in our bed, we are simply daydreaming in a warfield. Allies and enemies fall around us as we slowly regain our grasp on reality. That calming music still chiming away in the background. This is where we see our first storytelling device, environmental contrast. This device is a fairly difficult one to incorporate, but works well when done correctly. By juxtaposing these dark scenes of extreme violence against the calming scenes we've just seen, while still keeping the same music that we just associated with a peaceful slumber, this technique accentuates the true horror of war. When you use happy music with upsetting visuals, it does a great job of increasing exactly how terrible the visuals of that scene are. By comparison, we see the true nature of war. We are then informed that what we are about to take part in is frontline combat, and that we are not expected to survive. As gamers, how many times have we seen something like this? Almost all games nowadays have an extremely hard difficulty that tells us we won't survive, and yet so many of us do. So we go into this game, this level, expecting to defy the words of the game, and survive. We are thrown into the middle of a battle. We are outnumbered and outgunned, and given nowhere near enough ammo to repel the oncoming hordes of enemies. We slowly fall back into the ruins as we scavenge for ammunition and cover, until we eventually fall.
We came from all over the world, so many of us thinking this war would be our rite of passage, our great adventure. Let me tell you, it was no adventure.
And instead of respawning at the start of the stage, that is it. We are dead. Actually dying isn't enough though. Throughout this level, we go through a myriad of characters, all whom fall to the horror of war, over and over again. This is where we see our second storytelling device, Nihilistic Storytelling. Nihilism is the belief of life being pointless, or having no meaning. As we die over and over again, never able to overcome the odds, we begin to question if there is actually a point to what we're doing. The depravity of war has never been more clear than it is in this moment. No matter how cautiously or how recklessly we play, we will die. This leads to helplessness, a byproduct of nihilistic storytelling that will really link the player into the emotional tone of the game.
New killing machines, like the tank, changed the shape of the war overnight. Luckily, they were mostly on our side. Mostly.
As we reach the ending of the level, we encounter our final, and perhaps most important storytelling device, Humanization. To have Humanization, you must first experience Dehumanization. Throughout the constant cycle of death, fighting, and death again, it is easy to start to become disengaged with the full horror of war as you trundle along this set path. With the final cutscene, DICE illustrates the human cost of war, by focusing not on numbers or explosions, but on people, reminding you of all that have fallen before you.
they push, we push. Every once in a while, we push hard enough that the light breaks through the clouds, and a world beyond the war glimmers, just out of reach. The war is the world, and the world is the war. But behind every gun sight is a human being. We are those people. We are the jaded, and we are the naive. We are the honorable and the criminal. We are the bound for legend and the lost to history. We are the knights of the sky, the ghosts in the desert, and the rats in the mud.